Hi, my name is Deb Johnston and welcome to Women Reinventing Midlife TV, where we aim to inspire women over 50 to thrive in a meaningful life that you deeply desire and deserve. And today we're going to be talking about midlife crisis, which I prefer to call midlife transition. However, it really is our choice as to how we view it, and how we view it affects how we experience it. If we go onto Google and type in the word midlife, we're going to see midlife crisis pop up over and over and over again, which is really an indication of how society views it. And if we decide to go on with how society views it, we're going to experience it that way. But we do have a choice. We can choose to see it as a time, an empowering time when we transition and step into who we really are and stand in our own power. And when we see it that way, we begin to experience it that way. And it's the same with when we're looking at the amount of time that we have left. So quite often we get to around 50 and we look back and we notice that we've got 50 years of life behind us. And we probably know that we don't have as much time in front of us. Now, we can choose to see that in a negative way. We could choose to see that in a way, well, there's not much point in me really thinking about what I want to do next, or there's not much point in really thinking about how I want to be because I don't have a lot of time left. We could see it in that way. Or we could look at it like this. We could look at it as, okay, I've got about 20, 30, 40, maybe more years left. How do I want to make the best use of this time? How do I want to be in this phase of life? And what is it that I want to be doing? How do I want to experience life? And we could get excited about it. It's really our choice as to how we experience it by the way we're viewing it. The mindset that we have around it is so, so important. Brene Brown says that this stage of life is a midlife unraveling. And I love that term, really like that term. Because what that suggests to me is a time where our life begins to unravel. And in that, we can also begin to unravel who we really are and who we want to be in this next phase of life. We get to this stage of life, it's normally around 50. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, sometimes it's a little bit later, where we do feel like our life is unraveling. You know, if we've got kids, the kids leave home. If we have parents still alive, then they might be elderly and need a bit more care, or we might have parents that pass away. Sometimes we have relationships that end in divorce, or we have a relationship that's not doing particularly well, or we might have a partner that passes away. So there's a lot of unraveling that happens in this phase of life. We might get to this stage and we've had maybe in 20, 30 years in the same career or same line of work. And for some reason, it's just not doing it for us anymore. We don't feel the same way about it. So quite often there's an unraveling there too. Now, we can try and pull all that together and hold on to it. You know, we can try and hold on to the apron strings of our kids, because it certainly feels that way when they first move away. You want to try and hold on. We could spend time, you know, living in the past and wishing things were the way that they were before. And I know certainly most of us do that from time to time. I know I do that. But if we're dwelling on the past or trying to hold on to what we had, then we are limiting ourselves and holding ourselves back from who we're meant to step into in this phase of life. So all of those aspects of our life, like the aspect of being a mother, a daughter, of being an employee or a business owner or an accountant or a nurse or whatever it is that you did in your life up until this point, they're all just roles. The problem here is we tend to over-identify with those roles. So we make them about who we are. And when we do that, the time that those roles really significantly change or come to an end, or they're not doing it for us anymore, then we kind of lose a sense of who we are because we've made those roles about who we are. And we start to feel a bit lost because we do. We feel like we've lost our identity if we've over-identified with a role. So in this unraveling, I love that word, unraveling. In this unraveling, it's really about not just our life unraveling, but really unraveling who we are in this next stage of life, who we are now, without all those roles, without all those labels, without all those jobs. It's who we are beneath that that's important, because who we are beneath that is going to help us gain clarity on what we want for this next phase of life. So it's really getting clear on what's important to you, what lights you up from the inside, what motivates you, what you're passionate about, what makes you you right now, what makes all that up, your strengths, your qualities, what makes you you. And when we have that clarity, then we're able to see the next steps. We're able to see what is going to light us up for these next few years of our lives, this next chapter, because this doesn't have to be the final thing. And it probably won't be, because we've probably got, like I said, another 30, 40 years in front of us. So it's just going to be our next thing. It's the next stage, the thing that we want next for our lives. So it's important to be optimistic about the stage of life that we're in. Important to be optimistic, to look at it in a positive way, to look at the positives of it. Is it a crisis for you, or is it really a transition? Is it your time for stepping into your power and being who you really are? Is it that you have a small amount of years in front of you and there's no point in thinking about what you want to do next? Or is it that you have plenty of years in front of you that is exciting, that you get to decide what you want to do next? That's optimistic. That's looking at the positive side of it. Secondly, it's about getting clear on who you are in this stage of life, who you want to be, how you want to stand in your own power, what makes you you, what lights you up from the inside. And when you know that, you're able to gain the clarity to decide what you want to do next. And it is your decision. It's your decision to do what you want to do. This is your time for you. I hope that helps. And if you found this video helpful for you personally, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends, because we can all benefit from this kind of information and this kind of uplifting viewpoint on midlife in this phase of life. And if you want to see more videos like this one, or gain insights from interviews with real life stories from women in this phase of life who've reinvented themselves, then remember to subscribe to my channel and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.